If anyone wants to raise their hands and start us off, you're more than welcome to. Thank you. Micah, you can start us off.
Hey Patrick, congratulations, welcome. I was just curious, what's your relationship like with DJ Wadham, and did he help in the recruiting process at all? And have you guys talked since you signed the deal?
Yeah, DJ Wan, that's my dog, man. We go all the way back to Minnesota. He knew I was coming here. He hit me up and called me, let me know I'm in great hands. It's a great place, a great team. So I'm just happy to be here.
And then a lot of guys, just going back to your college years, a lot of edge rushers have come out of Pitt over the years. I was just curious, what made you decide to go to Pitt? I know you're from Virginia. And what about your college career stood out to you before you got to the NFL?
Oh yeah, the main reason I want to go to Pitt, I just felt it in my heart. I felt like that was the right place for me to go, and I just knew what Narduzzi could do with his defense, and I just wanted to come there and be a part of a big time defense. And when you look back at it, Pitt, them 2 years I was there, 2 years I was there starting, we was a big time defense.
Thanks.
Here we go, David Newton.
Hey, welcome, Pat. David Newton, ESPN.com. Wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself fitting into this defense? I mean, you've got two starters at outside linebacker for now, but I just kind of figure, how do you see you as a rotational, or what do you look at?
I see myself as an impact player. I feel like whenever I get in a game, wherever I get in a game, at whatever position, I'm going to come in and make an impact, and that's where I see myself at.
Strictly outside, or can you move inside? Or
I could move all over. I could play inside and outside. So wherever I can make an impact at, that's where I'm going to be, and that's what I'm going to do.
And I don't know how much you got to study this defense and the pieces they've been adding. What have you noticed about it from everything they've added?
You could just tell, like, we trying to do something real special, the way we building pieces up and just trying to bring everybody together and get the right pieces in the building for the defense. You could just tell that we really in the process of building something real special.
I think I saw a picture of you, like, with a big catfish. Were you noodling, or?
Nah. I caught that. I was on a boat fishing with my friend, and we ended up catching those. It was a flathead catfish that we caught.
Cool, very cool. Lots of good fishing around here, so you'll be happy, I think.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, David. We could go with Joe Person.
Hey, congratulations. I wanted to ask first, is it Pat or Patrick? I've seen both.
You could just call me Pat.
Pat, okay,
Yeah.
well, welcome. And wondered what, if you had reached out at all to DJ during the process and kind of, hit him up about the defensive coordinator, the scheme, Charlotte, or anything along those lines.
Oh yeah, I mean, I talk to DJ all the time. That's my dog. So we just chopped it up, and naturally, like I've been watching the games last year because I was watching him play. So I kind of had a little feel of what was going on.
What did he say, just sort of about the fit for someone like you, playing outside in that 3-4?
Yeah, he was just telling me like this is a great staff, great environment. He was telling me that we building something special. So once he said that, I knew that's what I want to be a part of. I want to come here and to make a difference.
Did you have any other connections to the staff or to anyone on the roster or even just Charlotte in general?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of connections with Charlotte. My whole family's from the Charlotte area. So, like, once the Panthers came about, I just knew this would be a place that would be good for me because it's kind of like home for me. This is about as close as home I could get. So I just knew this is where I wanted to be.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any additional questions for Patrick?
Yeah, I got one. Pat, you said that you've got a lot of family here. Is that because they moved around because of military stuff, or do you guys just have a base here that's been here for a while?
So I moved to Virginia because my dad got stationed there. But my whole mom's side of the family, grandma, grandpa, cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody, they all from this area. So it's a real big family. So I got a lot of support here. So it's amazing.
How cool is it going to be to have them at games and be able to support you and kind of continue to build that relationship as an adult?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Being in Minnesota, I was far away from everybody, so it was hard to get everybody at the games, but I'm about 30 minutes from everybody now, so I know I'm going to have endless support and love from my family, and you can't ask for anything more than that.
Thank you, Mike. We go with Joe Person.
Pat, I wondered if you've got a chance to talk to Clowney yet and what you think of him and kind of being in the room with that group.
I actually did. I met him this morning, and it was real brief, but we talked for a little bit and introduced ourselves to each other. And it's gonna be real fun to be in there with a great group of guys with a lot of talent. So that's always gonna be fun.
Did you know much about him, previously?
Oh, of course, I played DN. Every DN know who Jadeveon Clowney is.
Pat, David Newton again. So how much time did you actually spend living in the Charlotte area previous to now?
So it's actually crazy because I was born in Japan and I lived all overseas. I lived in Italy and stuff too, but during the summer times, my parents, they used to bring us back over here to North Carolina, and we would come out here into Charlotte area specifically. So I knew a little bit about this area because I grew up in the summers over here. And then also when I was in Japan, when the earthquake happened and the tsunami, I actually had to evacuate, and we actually came here to Charlotte, and I went to middle school out here for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what was that like to have to just pack up and leave with the tsunami?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a crazy experience. I was like 12 years old, so you could just imagine how that could feel. My dad, he was in the military, so he had to leave. He couldn't say nothing else. His ship just had to go take off into the ocean because the tsunami and stuff. So it was just me, my mom, my sisters. So we just had to get on a plane. We took about an 18-hour flight. We waited in the airport for about a day, took an 18-hour flight across the ocean, landed in California, was over there for about another day. And then we didn't really have nowhere to go, so we came here to Charlotte, and then that's when we got here.
Okay. Was there like a specific family member in Charlotte that you moved in with, or?
Yeah, I came to stay with my grandma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. You've been all over the place too. I mean, it's just like, are you ready to settle down in one place and stay for a while?
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Yeah, I'm ready to just settle down, find my home.
Pat, do you remember what middle school it was and how long were you there?
It was Piedmont Middle School. I stayed there for the whole second semester.
And then went to Virginia after that?
No, we actually went back to Japan after that for about maybe a year, and then we moved to Virginia, where I did high school in Virginia.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Pat? All right, thank you, Pat. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. You have a good one.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
take questions for Christian. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. All right, Mike, we'll kick it off with you.
Hey, Christian, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
You know, there are a lot of guys in the NFL who started on special teams. Whoop, hit my ring on the table. A lot of guys that have started on special teams and kind of worked their way up on defense. And I'm just curious, how has that like factored into your mentality and the way you've played the game because you've kind of grown your game into the defensive side of things?
Yeah, like you said, just especially too being undrafted, kind of just my journey as a whole hasn't necessarily been the easiest, but it's been worth it, and I think it's given me just perspective on all different types of roles on the team, and just excited to see what my role is going to be here, and just play to the best of my ability. So.
You played with Bobby in Los Angeles. Have you guys linked up since you both signed or both agreed to the deal? And what type of player is he, and how do you guys complement each other in that front seven?
Right. Yeah, it's going to be nice to have some familiar faces, and obviously Ashawn too. But good to have Bobby back in front of me, and he's a monster. He's so strong. He's big, and he's aggressive, and I'm excited to still have him in front of me and get to meet some of my new teammates and just kind of go from there.
All right, we'll go to Joe, followed by David.
Hey, Christian, congrats on the contract.
Thank you.
Also, following up on that LA theme, and I know he wasn't a coordinator at the time, but what sorts of interactions did you have with EJ, and had y'all stayed in any kind of touch?
Yeah, Coach E was there my first 2 years together, so yeah, he was the safeties coach and I was a linebacker, so we spent a lot of time together in those back seven meetings, and excited to grow our relationship even more now that maybe have a little bit more time together one-on-one and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's nice to have some familiar faces in a new spot. I think that'll be really good for everybody, and just kind of going from there.
Your thoughts on the scheme and your place in it, have they defined a role for you?
No, it's my first day here, so I'm just excited to be in the building. We got time to figure that out later. So, but the scheme is what I've been involved with for 5 years now. So it's something I'm comfortable with, but ready to grow in whatever role that is, and kind of whatever nuances they have going on over here. So.
Hey, Christian, David Newton, ESPN.com. Congrats on the contract.
Thank you.
Wanted to go a little bit on the scheme thing, too. I mean, they brought in a ton of players. This defense ranked, as you easily know, the last in NFL last year in a lot of categories. What are your thoughts on just the pieces they've been bringing in, and how much that could possibly change things? How long will it take to get that chemistry that you guys need to have to turn things around?
Yeah, I think OTAs are going to be huge for us, just kind of getting that familiarity with everybody and kind of just getting on the same page. And we got a long time to figure it out. We're not going to figure it out the first day. The second day, it's going to be a lot of days of work. It's not going to be easy, but I'm excited to meet everybody, kind of get on the same page schematically, and just build relationships with those guys too.
Yeah. And you mentioned Bobby being in front of you. I mean, he's a huge guy. I mean, known for just almost a human wall up there, it looks like, and sometimes. And this team really struggled with that part of the game last year. What about him you think can translate into a better run defense?
Yeah, I mean, the scheme obviously is going to help just with him being in it for 4 years. And he's, like you said, he's a big body that's athletic. He can move better than I don't know how much he weighs, but he can move better than a lot of guys that weigh that same weight. So I'm just excited to see him in this new role and kind of get a new start together and kind of roll with that.
And I got to ask you, where the Exploding Flower nickname, tell us about that.
I have no idea. I heard it started on ESPN, so maybe you have a little more insight to that than I do. I honestly have no clue.
Okay, when did that happen? When did people start using that? I mean,
I think it was yesterday, to be honest with you.
Huh?
I haven't heard it before yesterday, so.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in your bio, so.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to do some research on that. I hope it's a good thing. I think it is, so we'll see.
It sounded pretty specific, so I was just curious if anything from your past that.
Yeah, no, nothing. Nothing I can think of, so.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, we have time for a couple more, so we will move over to Mike K.
Hey, Christian, you're not known as, I guess the exploding flower to you, but you had a pretty explosive, number of tackles last year in a short time. What kind of went into that when you got moved into the starting lineup? And how do you feel you are as a read and react linebacker?
Yeah, I've been blessed to have some great coaches around me that have really helped me along the way and just making the most of my opportunities, staying healthy. And yeah, the read and react thing, I think that's just being comfortable in the defense you're in. The less you're thinking out there, the more you can kind of make those quick decisions. So I'm excited to be kind of in that same scheme, or hopefully I can just build on that and just help this team win however I can.
Any other questions for Christian? All good? All right. Thanks so much, Christian. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much.